There's a disaster. What's that? Okay, let's do a disaster now. I think... fuck it, who cares? Let's make some coffee. Alright, first things first, what we should do is turn on a kettle, because the rest of this is not going to take that long. So turn it on before you need it. Just make sure there's water in there, because that would suck if you turn it on and there's no water. But yeah, while that's going, you can start on the rest of it. So I don't have, well, I do have like a drip coffee machine, but I don't really drink drip coffee because, I don't know, but I want to show you guys. So this little guy is my little French press, and I think this is like the easiest way to just get into making coffee for the first time, because it's like, this exact one was probably $6 at IKEA. So yeah, very low starting point, and it's like not that hard to use as long as you know what you're doing. So I think people should be able to manage it. You just have to know what you're doing. But that's what this is. This whole thing. That's what this whole thing is for. So you can do drip coffee if you have a machine for it, but I don't want to use it, so we're using this. This we don't even have to touch yet. What we do need to do is start our beans, okay? So we have beans. This one's a medium blend, medium roast, which I actually really enjoy this one. I don't enjoy all of their stuff, but this one is good. Also, the Guatemala Antigua that they sell is actually surprisingly good. But anyways, I need to start grinding. So there's so much stuff on the internet on like, do 1 to 15 ratio of water to bean for a French press, or 1 to 12, or 2 tablespoons, or 4 tablespoons. I don't know. I've kind of given up on doing an exact measurement. I kind of just go with my heart now. So what you're gonna do, open up your bag. This is a tablespoon, a little measuring cup. I'm just gonna scoop in, I've kind of got eyeballed it, but I think 2.5 seems about right. We'll see how it goes. Oh no, it's definitely gonna be more than 2.5. 3, we'll go with 4. 4 sounds about right. 4 tablespoons of coffee beans. You can always like modify it if you want more coffee. Do what you gotta do. I'm not the boss of you. Coffee is very much an art form. You can do what you want, and as long as you know what you're doing, you can really just mess with shit. But the thing that absolutely does need to be done right is grind, okay? The level that you grind it to is gonna matter so much. Because simply, this guy, you see those little holes? The grounds cannot pass through there. A little bit of grounds will still pass through there, but it's not ideal, because you know, if it passes through that little mesh, then you're drinking it, and drinking grounds is not fun. I do not recommend. So when you go to grind it, you're looking for very coarse sand, and you want like as few big bean chunks left. My grinder kind of leaves a lot of big bean chunks, but that's better than having it be too small and go through the little filter. That would be bad. So I'm gonna try to get like a happy medium. We'll see. It's gonna be very loud. All bean grinders are very loud. If you don't want to worry about getting the right grind size, you can just ask the people. If you're buying from a coffee shop, they probably will be able to grind it for you for a French press. If not, I don't know, someone can help you. Just ask people. Wherever you're buying your beans, just ask people. They're happy to help. I know I'm personally very happy to help people with this stuff, because I like when people make coffee at home. Because that means I don't have to make coffee for them. Just to make that clear. Okay, the beans are ground, which is good, because that's like probably the most, that's the thing, like, I feel like you mess up the most. Of anything, this is like pretty foolproof, and that grinding up your beans wrong is kind of the only way it can go wrong. But anyways, we're waiting for that kettle to finish heating, I guess. It's close. We'll start prepping the rest of this. I forgot you also need a mug, also from Starbucks. I actually like this mug, but if you can't tell, somebody did give me a very themed gift. So yeah, you got a mug, use a mug. But yeah, we're gonna start prepping. I like to pour my syrup into my cup at this stage. It doesn't really matter when you put it in, but to me, I like it now, because if I mess it up, I can fix it now. Whereas if I were to wait a little bit longer, then like if I pour in my milk first and then the syrup, then you're out of luck. Now you gotta pour out both, fix it. Or if you do coffee, milk, and then the syrup, and you mess up the syrup, you gotta start this whole thing over. That would suck. Recently, my coffee's been too sweet whenever I go places. So now I have to do less syrup, which is terrible for me because I love sweet coffee, but yeah. We're just gonna do a quick little, boom, done. Whoa. I mean, you can barely even see. Like, yeah. Just a thin little puddle on the bottom there. What is also one of the places that you can go wrong with a French press. You need to make sure you watch out for this. It's not tempering your glass. I think that's what it's called. I don't know. But essentially, I'm gonna start hot water going. Realized I can't talk while the hot water's going because that was fucking loud. You're gonna put a bunch of hot water and you're gonna pour it into the cup so that the glass itself is able to heat up. That's very essential because when the boiling water goes in there, and if you weren't to do this, glass is cold, hot water, that doesn't go well. You gotta trust me, that doesn't go well. It'll break. You'll have to go back to IKEA, spend another $6. I haven't done that yet, but that's a yeah. Also, that water's boiling, which means I'm running behind schedule. That's okay. It's okay. I'm actually gonna turn it off. Turn off that hot water, and then we're gonna start tempering this glass over here. It's gonna be loud, sorry. All right, new angle, because you actually need to be able to see what I'm doing now. Tempered glass. We're gonna get my beans into there. I might have actually ground too many beans, but we'll see. That looks about right. I don't know how, there's no measurement for that. I'm just saying that looks about right, if I'm being honest. This feels right. Yeah, really crazy too. This feels right. Hot water. And it's actually good that I took it off and I kind of left it there for a little bit, because you don't really want to be brewing at full boiling temperature. And that gets into nitty gritty of coffee science, but it's not the best. So letting it cool off for like a couple seconds, like maybe a minute, yeah, it's probably for the best. But here is the dangerous part where I have to pour into here, hopefully not spilling because that would hurt. And we're just gonna pour until you see that silver line, maybe. There's a lot of reflections going on. And kind of let it sit for a second. To the silver line of water. I'm gonna let this sit. Again, just kind of letting the glass adjust to being fucking hot. Because I don't want it to break, because that would really suck. We're good, I think. Yeah, we're good. And we're gonna just take this guy, set her on top, put that lid down, and we leave it like this for about 5 minutes. In retrospect, this is actually when you could start setting up your cup. So if you haven't started setting up your cup, set up your cup now. Also, I forget to actually set a timer. I just look at the clock and then, you know, add 5 minutes. It's not that serious. This thing, it'll do its own thing. Just because so maybe someone's making coffee for the first time in this thing and they don't know what it looks like. So It's gonna look weird and ambery. Like it's not gonna, that doesn't look like what coffee looks like, right? That's gonna freak some people out. But yeah, it looks like this until you push the plunger, and then it'll look like normal coffee. For now, this is what you got. If you were to look at the little space in between a drip coffee, like the basket and the pot, you would also see this really amber, like looking stuff. I don't know, just what coffee looks like when it's like this. Don't worry about it. Now it's housekeeping. So I'm gonna put my shit away that doesn't need to be out here. I know I said I wasn't gonna waste any beans, but I did grind like half a tablespoon too many beans. So those will get wasted. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Oat milk. 'Cause I'm a sucker for oat milk. Again, not too much. I actually enjoy this coffee, so kind of want to taste it. I need a little bit more than that. I just love oat milk so much. It's a problem. I can barely have coffee without oat milk now. I've become so reliant on it. Oops. All right, I'll see you guys in a few minutes because this is gonna be just me staring at stuff. It's been roughly 5 minutes. Here's our thing. Still looks ambery like this, but a little bit darker than it did before. And basically, now it's time to plunge. I'm just gonna slowly push down. And you'll start to see that that liquid on top very much looks like normal coffee, which is what we're looking for. By the way, this is like me pushing as hard as I can actually, and it's just going slow. That's okay. We are in no rush. We're just gonna keep on going all the way to the bottom. There we go. That's all there is to it, really. Now we just pour into my little mug. And a little thing. I like to pour in a little bit of the hot liquid and then stir like this. Real easy because this will help the syrup get everywhere. Also a thing I do as a barista, because if you don't do that, then you get a very unfortunate taste at the end, because all the syrup you'll get to at the bottom half, and you don't want that. It turns, I don't know how, but it just turns like bitter. Like it's just wrong. And again, my taste buds are changing, so like I like more savory coffee now than I did before, like even like a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I had a very bad latte yesterday. But yeah, here we are. Nothing crazy. Let me just. That's it. That's all. We've made coffee. It's really easy. Anyone could do this. Anyone of you guys. Just make yourself coffee. It's a lot hard. People make it seem a lot harder than it really is, because people want to do everything right, and I get that. I want to do everything right, but you know, sometimes you can just mess around, do your own thing. It's cheap. I mean, like, of supplies that I used today, like the actual cost of everything was probably like a couple cents. So, make your own coffee. I forgot to do a taste test. I was about to leave you guys without a taste test. That'd be silly. That'd be buffoonery. Oh, also, throw your grounds in the trash. Thank me later. You throw your when you. Hi, toaster. These grounds go in the trash. Throw them in the trash. Okay? Okay? It's gonna be liquidy, it's gonna be soupy, it's gonna be gross. Kind of, not really. I collect these and use them for plants actually, but throw it in your trash if you're not gonna do it. And now, the moment of truth. It's really hot. I don't do good with the hot beverages, but it's okay. Yep, that's fire. That's pretty good. Not gonna lie, that's pretty good. Well, yeah, that's it. Now you know how to make at least French press coffee. You can find French presses in so many places. And yeah, do it. Have fun. It's nice to make something. Have a good time. Thank you.